Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We got a list of 17 properties today, and buyer classes tonight. Very excited about that. It sounds like there's some really nice people coming, and just remember to bring your food bank donation. It is very important. We're not charging admission to the event, although we probably could with the quality of information, but the food bank donations I find are very important. We've donated something like 1,400 pounds of food over the years when we've done the classes. So let's get started with the first one. 651 Woodward is 252.9. Condo townhouse. It's in the Dorset Park area, which means it's got the electric baseboard heat. Condo fees are pretty standard. They float plus or minus around $300. There's no garage, so you're looking at surface parking. So the one thing about the surface parking is that you don't really have a second parking space. So if you have two cars, that can prove to be difficult. Something to think about. Nadlin Heights is 364.9. We haven't seen a lot of these come out. It's a Mattamy built building. You know, it's a big open concept area. The thing about this one that I wasn't a big fan of, as far as I know, this is all wood frame construction. We're not talking about concrete. So I have been in buildings built by Mattamy before, and you can tell in the hallways it's a little squeakier. I don't know if I love everything about this structurally compared to something like Green Life with the ICF, the triple glazed windows, all the rest of it. They put a lot more, in my opinion, quality into a building like that than something like this. Size-wise, I mean, they're competing against stuff that's bigger up in Bristol on Main, the stuff around Maple Crossing, stuff like that. So right around, and you've got a better location there close to the 401 compared to this one. Let's see what happens, but I think they may have missed it a bit high. This is our listing on Short Read. It's at 375. It's a Woodbine model. It's the largest village townhouse, 2-car parking in the driveway, stretch balcony right across the whole length of the property. You've got a main floor den here when you first come in. And then you've got all your mechanicals, entrance from the garage. Halfway up the stairs, you have laundry. You've also got nice Berber carpet here. It's a great looking kitchen, upgraded appliances. You've got a breakfast bar there. Walkout balcony. You've got a nice open concept floor plan here. And lots of space for the living plus the dining room. And you can sit in the kitchen and talk to your guests or family or whatever else. Balcony is a great place for a barbecue. You've got a little nook right here. There's a little window seat there, so it could be a little spot for a home office. You also have 2 full bathrooms upstairs. That's the master ensuite with a shower, which with the angle on the photo is very difficult to show. So that's the property there. 2 full bathrooms upstairs. Lots of great features. Just a couple doors down is a big community park, so there's lots of green space around this one. And I think it's fantastic. We've seen that model, in my opinion, without the upgrades this one has, sell for even more. So it's priced for a very quick sale, and you can get more information at 770shortread.com. So this one on 50 and Side Road, you look at the price point, you say anything country at 1.15 acres at 384. Here's what I basically said is I go, what's wrong with this one? It actually looks pretty nice inside. It's got the baseboard electric heat, which we talked about in the condo townhouse, you want to be aware of because it can actually increase your costs if you run it the same way as a gas furnace. So you kind of have to manage the rooms a little bit more. If you're not in a room, then sometimes you leave your baseboards off, and you've got a what looks like a very nice property here. Now, the only thing about this one that I thought it's probably not ideal, that's the house right there. And I'll put the link down below for the GIS map. This is a very handy thing to have. You can cycle through between the base map, the air photos, the zoning bylaws. So that's the property here. And then if you look at this, let's go to the air photo. This right here looks like some sort of manufacturing something here. The train tracks go right through, so you're not that far from train tracks. It looks like there's a little bit of something here, a bunch of junk sort of on the land. Don't really know what's going on, but you want to do your homework here. You've got Country Lane Court just south of here with some pretty big properties. There's a big house right here, almost like a massive mansion, but it's right by the train tracks. So it's a very interesting area. That would be my one concern, though, is that you might just be a little close to those tracks. But double car garage, detached home, country for $384. People are paying this for townhouses in town, so I guess you can't have your cake and eat it too. So Pettigrew is a semi-detached. Green Park built this one. They're known as having basically one big, well, maybe not huge, living area. And then you've got your kitchen. And there's probably room for an eat-in area on this one, but they have put an extra pantry space. And then you've got what looks like a third bathroom down below in the basement. So the finished basement is going to help them. It's not a huge house, though, so you have to kind of be careful with what you're dealing with. Only one full bathroom on the top floor. And then we've got fourth. I put this up on Facebook today because I just thought it was so ridiculous. I mean, some of the jokes that came out of it I thought were pretty funny. So this wasn't what we had in mind when we talked about a fix and flip. And buyers are going to go head over heels over this home. So as I talk about this home, let's flip me around and let's let, in the spirit of this home and the ridiculousness of this photo set, we are going to talk about this home upside down. So we do have a few pictures that are right side up. I can't even tell. I can't even see this one really, but it's, what are we at? 160 by 149. So you're about a half-acre lot. You know, it's 4th and south of Britannia, so you want to be careful with anything in that zone because there's development coming. And so the next phase is going to go right down to Britannia. Britannia is eventually going to be a 6-lane road. And there are some parts of Milton that'll dip further south than Britannia. So you want to check those zoning maps. You can check the zoning on the GIS map. Interesting home, but you want to be careful of the area. And it's just ridiculous to have upside down photos. I mean, pretend like you're trying. It's not that hard. It's 2014. So Giddings is 474.9, and it's about 1,900 square feet, semi-detached. 475 seems okay. Here's a little thing I like about this one is that some of the builders just put a flat cabinet here, just like a flat piece of wood. When you do the cabinet doors here, like the actual where you've got some dimension to it, it makes a huge difference on your impression. So whether or not the builder did that or the homeowner thought about it, it's a good thing. So there we go. That's the property there. Here's another thing. When you have second floor laundry is that some of the builders actually build out where there's a tile baseboard all around. You've got a drain set up, so if there was ever a small leak here, it's not going anywhere. And so you do find that builders have different styles and ways of putting those laundry rooms in, but you always think about what happens if a pipe bursts. This one on Yates is just over 1,800 square feet. It's a pretty good layout. You've got living, dining in the front, kitchen and family in the back. And then it looks like they've got 3 bedrooms upstairs. Potentially one of those rooms looks like it may have been opened up to a loft, but it's hard to tell. It could be a closed off room. 529 to me seems a little bit high. Then we've got this mess of a photo gallery on Tyrone, and I'm not even sure what model this is. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's 1,750 square feet. And at 535, I think they're lost in the shuffle a little bit too. Tonelli, I believe this one's about 1,800 square feet. Actually, a little bit less, probably closer to 17. Bit of a smaller kitchen. There are buyers that don't love how narrow the back part of the house is. California shutters, upgraded bathroom cabinet. It looks like in the powder room. And nice stuff. It actually, I mean, this one looks like a very, very nice home inside. It may just be competing with bigger homes in that price range. We've seen homes that are 100, 200 square feet larger than this one sell in the 520 range. And Tonelli's a great location, nice quiet street for the kids. Let's see what happens. If the value of the finishes and upgrades, and I think the way it shows, boost the value, they might find a good offer on the upper end, like past 530. But it depends on what the buyers are looking at right now. There's a lot of competition for detached homes right now, plus and minus $500,000. So Farmstead, 2121 square feet. These guys get it. Stainless steel appliances. It is a good idea to take all this stuff off your fridge. You'll see another example of that in today's, I'm trying to remember which property it is. Very nice looking home. There's no carpet upstairs. $549 for a semi is getting up there, especially if it doesn't have a finished basement. Again, you could go over to some of the areas, Heathwood, for example. You could pick up one of the azaleas with a finished basement for around this price or less too, and you're talking about an extra maybe 100 square feet plus the basement. Clark Boulevard, $572. So they originally, I think they talked about this one as being a different model, but I think they've changed that now. So it's a Milbourne. It does have some age to it for sure. I think they may have even put a bit of work in, or it was a different home, but it looked very similar to what's on Clark. This one is about 2,300 square feet, and the price doesn't seem that far off to me. And actually the siding, some people don't like it, but I think in this case the siding actually in some of these homes looks really, really nice. Carbert is around that sort of 2,200 square foot range. I believe it's a Plan 5, and I've always found that stair sort of in the back part of the house, it does open it up a bit in the front, but I find it's kind of awkward, like to have the stairs by your breakfast area. I don't know, it's one of those things where, I mean, you know, it may not be a big deal for a lot of people. I've always seen it as being something that feels awkward, but it could just be different and something that you could get used to pretty easily. Photo gallery, very impressive. That's how you do it, fourth line. That's how you present a home properly. And the price seems okay. I'm not in love with it, but I think that because it looks so good, it's going to attract a lot of attention. We've got an 80 by 132 foot lot on Main Street, $729. And so the building is basically unlivable. It's land value. And I mean, you could go right down the street and buy the Flower Girls building for the same price. You're not getting quite the same lot, but you are getting a building that you can actually use and rent the top and have a business downstairs, and it's already set. So see what happens with that. Millbrook, $734, and it's boasting 2,900 square feet. I've had discussions with other agents about this, about the word boasting, and I've always thought there's no place in a real estate listing for the word boasting. I find it's kind of a pompous term, but people use it all the time. So maybe, I don't know, I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. Let me know what you think about that. Tuxford's 3,331 square feet. It's a Tothberg model. You've got a direct access. It's great for dogs. If you've got this little door here coming into the laundry room, you can hose your dog's paws off. And I don't know if the kitchen is really going to blow people away. It says 5 bedrooms. There's 4 bedrooms upstairs, plus kind of a little office area that's open, but you could close it pretty easily. And then you've got your 3 full bathrooms upstairs. 56 by 80 foot lot. They're not building 56 foot properties anymore. And Tuxford, in my eyes, is one of the best streets in the area. On the other side of Tuxford, they back onto green space. Finished basement on that one adds, like you're in the 4,600 square foot of total living space. And my question would be is how many people need that much space? I suppose it's handy to have, but are people going to pay the premium for it? We've seen that home sell past $800,000 this year. So I don't think the price is that far off. First line is at 1.297, but it's a placeholder for a builder selling custom homes. So they've said, okay, go to the home builder's website, and they start at $1 million. Here's my whole thought: is if they start at $1 million, put it at $1 million, because any buyer that's looking in the $1 million range probably sets their criteria from, let's say, $1 to $2 million, and they look at everything that's in that range. So at 1.297, even at 1.1 or 1.2 or 1.3, you would actually, it's sitting on that price, that bracket, and so you're getting the double exposure when you're on a round number in that price range. And so people search on sites like MLS.ca by 100,000 increments in this range. And I don't know why they'd show the bathroom as the first one. We all know that the kitchen is the most important part of the house. Wine bar looks great. This is not a real home as far as I know. So anyway, positioning wise, would they have been better to put it at $1 million, and then that way maybe get a little bit, even some of those buyers that kind of are looking up to $1 million, cap it, but they could go a little bit further for the right house. That's a big breaking point for people in their search, is $1 million. I would say there's probably 2 to 3 times as many eyeballs up to $1 million compared to over $1 million. So a little bit of marketing stuff there. It's either way, custom homes. If you want something like that, I suppose you can choose your own land and finishes and all the rest of it. So that's the list. If you have any questions, give us a call. And again, I hope to see you tonight at the buyer class. And if you're in town this weekend in Milton, you can come on a tour of homes. We run them 7 days a week, but the weekends tend to be the time when people actually come to town. And it's a great way to learn more about the town, the kind of properties that are in your price range. So we'll see you tomorrow.